Mexico. I was about a mile or two from the border earlier. So today, I want to talk to you about a condition that I have. A condition that up until, I don't know, about 2 years ago, I didn't even know was a condition. It is called, it should be called itchy arm. I hope I ain't got a bug in there that bit me or something.
The next day.
Ladies, this is a rare scene. It's an asshole in his natural environment. It's called Aphantasia. I like Disney's Fantasia, except it's the lack of Fantasia. Aphantasia. I've always thought that a lot of things were just like sayings, because I kind of grew up going to church and whatnot, and it was like, oh, well, everything's in parables, and, you know, when you're in literature, well, it's a story about this, but it's really talking about something else, you know, like the book Animal Farm. Well, it's you know, a book about the farm and the hierarchy, but in reality, it's about politics, and, you know, it's just whatever, right? Everything is a meaning of something else, right? So I didn't think too much of it when people talked about imaginations, right? Like, I thought imagination was an interchangeable word for creativity. Like, oh, look, someone painted a beautiful picture. Well, they're creative. It doesn't necessarily mean to me that they have an imagination. I can paint rocks and I don't have an imagination. I just look at a picture on Pinterest or something that interests me and I can paint a rock, right? So I just thought it was like being able to be creative and make things with your hands and that type of stuff, right? So a couple years ago, I decided that I was going to meditate. Now, I don't even remember why I was going to meditate, because, like, I have zero trouble sleeping because I have no imagination. So when I go to bed, there's nothing in my head, and all I see is black. There's nothing there. Anyway, I decided I was going to meditate, right? And everything was visualize, imagine, visualize. And I'm like, what do they mean? Because I kept getting the feeling that from the way that they were talking about it, that there was something more to it than what I'm capable of doing, obviously, right? So, I, of course, went to some of my favorite internet sources, because you know internet sources are the best sources ever, right? So I went to some of my favorite internet sources, and I, of course, Googled, get around this damn truck. I, of course, Googled how to visualize, and nothing, right? I'm like, what do you mean there's nothing here? Like, how can there not be anything on how to visualize if all these self-help people and meditators and, you know, yoga people and whoever's telling you to visualize, how can there not be Google on how to visualize? YouTube has everything. How to visualize, you know? And I mean, I looked it up different ways, right? Nothing. Like, how can they not have something on this? This has got to be self-help is a multi-billion-dollar market. Go and look at a bookstore, right? Okay. So finally, I was like, well, maybe I should approach it from a different way. So I put in lack of it was either lack of imagination or lack of visualization, and I got something. Oh my goodness, if I didn't want to tell you his name, I could, from Exeter University over in England. This isn't a new phenomenon. However, it was only diagnosed like 4 years ago now or something. And there are multiple ways you can get it, but basically I have no visual imagination. So what you all do in your head, to me, is akin to hallucination. Like, when I talk to people, there are people that talk about all the voices in their heads. Gates opens at 9 a.m. Let's see. Hold on a minute. We'll continue this in a minute, guys. Okay, we got checked in. So anyway, there's a state park in Laredo. So anyway, I have no voices. I'm not able to visualize. I'm not able to smell. Not able to hear. Like, apparently some people, when they sing, it might sound hideous to me, but in their head it sounds wonderful. And they got the whole orchestra playing with them. Like the whole band, the whole orchestra, they're just carrying on and sound just wonderful as can be. Now, to me, when I sing, I call it, I live in reality, and I know that I'm a horrible singer. So, I just don't know. And I've also discovered that people have voices. Now, imaginations is not something people talk about because everybody just assume everybody has one and that they're all the same. But they're not. Some people, if you just talk to them and act like it's completely normal, because you're talking about your imagination, which is something people don't do, but you just act like it's completely normal. Some people have one voice and it tells them, you know, kind of what they would call their conscious, and it tells them good stuff to do. And some people have another voice, and some of them's just like it's rambling voices, right? Some people, actually probably about 1 in 5 people that I've talked to, have a voice that tells them to do bad things, and they argue with that voice. And I never thought that that was actually a real thing. Like when people say, oh, the voices kept me awake last night because they wouldn't shut up. I always thought that was the dumbest thing in the world when people said that, because I just thought it was like it meant that they were thinking about what they did today or what they got to do at work tomorrow, not like they were arguing with some random voice in their head, right? And I've talked to people that have 4 and 5 voices in their head that talk to them. And I don't know, I don't have any concept of that, because I have never, as far as I can remember, had any visual or any other type of sensory things that aren't based in reality. And I consider it based in reality because, I mean, your imagination is imaginary, right? It's not real. I guess you could imagine dolphins out there doing flips. Well, they're not real, so they're imaginary, right? Imagination, imaginary. I don't know. The whole thing... Oh, there's a bow. The whole thing seems kind of weird to me. Oh. So the doctor in England, though, he decided to do CAT scans on people's brains. And what he's discovered... oh, my God. I don't know if y'all saw that. The dang Roadrunner just about got him. So I don't know. He discovered that my brain, or the brain of a aphant, as we're called, functions totally different than the brain of someone who has an imagination. When you use your imagination, like your whole brain lights up, and mine don't work that way. It also affects my ability to recall faces and place names and faces together. So if we ever meet, and then we meet again and I can't remember your name, just know I have a good excuse. I'm gonna go this way. But anyway, like I said, my brain works completely different. Oh, there's a lime. Y'all probably knew that, but I have an actual excuse as to why now. I can say that it does have its benefits. Like I said, I don't have trouble sleeping because there's nothing going on. I don't have intrusive thoughts because, or I guess I shouldn't say that. Not like some people have intrusive thoughts. I mean, I might think about something, oh, if I'm sad or whatever, but it's not like, I'm having flashbacks or something, because I'm not capable of imagining those things really happening, It's just kind of weird. I'm also told that that's probably why I would make a good nurse or doctor or serial killer. Alright, I'm going to tuck this in. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to continue riding around the lake, guys. Remember, do something today that your future self will thank you for.